We're previewing Manchester United's next match against Ipswich Town on the road, and it's Ruben Amorim's first game as Manchester United manager. The new era, the Portuguese revolution at Manchester United officially begins. His crew, they've been hanging out in Manchester, sir. All the journos chasing him around. Whenever United's size, it's global news. So obviously, new manager in town. Guy looks the part. I hope he acts the part. He certainly sounds the part, but fans are buzzing. I'm buzzing. I am looking forward to this match. I think you're going to see a huge uplift in United's effort. An idea. Ruben spoke about an idea. He wants to implant just an idea. I think it will be that 3-4-3, the introduction that we see and probably see for a long time in Manchester United, but super pumped about this game. I haven't looked forward to a Manchester United EPL game against a team like this, a promoted team. I can't remember since when. So I'm looking forward to it. I think most fans are. Choice time as well. Sunday morning, recent, decent hour. Can't wait. New man coming in. How we feeling? How we doing?
Feeling great. The Amorim hype has got me. I have hype-itis. I think the Ruben's Red Army is here. Can't wait to see him play at the weekend, and also excited for next week. Training, right? All the training photos, all the good vibes we're going to get out of Amorim meeting all the players as they come back from international duty. And then Ipswich away, a great, this is an appetizer for the man. You eat up Ipswich away, you get that dub, you eat that dub, then you come home. And that's what we really want to see because you got a midweek game, Bodo Gimlet. I'm going to say it's called Glimt, but I'm going to call him Gimlet FC. Because that name, it's got a slash in it, sir. It's got an O with a slash in it. But coming home for a European night is great. And then home at Everton, Arsenal away, obviously going to be a difficult fixture midweek following that Everton game. But they're going to come thick and fast. It's the holiday schedule here. Santa got us a present early in the form of Ruben Amorim and that new manager. But I really want to get a win. Ipswich, easy dub against Bodo at home for his home debut, and then cook Everton. And then obviously you got to probably write off the Arsenal game. Too early to see anything, but I really want to see 3 wins in a row for the new man. Get wind at the sails, get the hype, get the Stretford end bouncing, the away end bouncing. So I'm just absolutely thrilled about this new coach coming in.
And I think you speak for all fans, but we're all just super pumped, ready to rock, ready for the new manager, breath of fresh air, total departure from the previous manager. And not the back of the old guy, but this is just a new revolution of management.
Get him. Get him. He signed Anthony. He took $20 million out the door. Hey, anytime you pay,
I thought I was gonna get him. This guy can't even help it. He's like, wait, someone's digging into that Dutch. You know what?
Over the top.
Give me a shot. Hit him. Keep him here. Keep him here.
You don't need to feel bad for a guy that got $17 million for being 14th in the Premier League.
Good for him, bro.
Running us into the ground.
You
don't need to be
sir, he's gone, bro.
You don't need to be nice to a guy who's getting
I was trying to cook him. You wouldn't even let me cook him. You're like, it's my job to cook him. There's only one guy's allowed to cook on this pod.
Cook, if you will.
The whole point of the matter
I'm encouraging the cooking.
Is that he is a total change from what these players have been seeing. Hopefully from what the fans have been seeing, both in the presser room and on the pitch in terms of his stiffness and just his ability to relate with fans. So I'm excited. I think we're going to see that jump. I'm hopeful we're going to get all 3 of those first wins because those are winnable games. Ipswich one is probably the hardest, being on the road. They're frisky. Kieran McKenna got, he was a former United coach. Some even Muppet said an eye for a player that that could have been the manager of Manchester United. I think this idiot talking right now said that at some point. And you know what? I'm sure he's going to want to make a name and beat the Manchester United manager in his first game in charge. So a lot to be excited about. Like you said, get those 9 points in because we've got some tough games. We've got Arsenal, we've got City, we've got Spurs, and the games just come twice a week, bro. Because it's like I said, it's officially the holidays. And they've only packed in more games, and we basically have no stop until the end of January.
And it's cold in the north of England, sir. Quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Devils, we are for fans, by fans. We're getting that Muppet take out to the world. We just got our YouTube channel off the ground. Please check it out. We got daily ARD content. We got the podcast on the pod feed. We also have our podcast on YouTube. We also got daily clips on our YouTube channel. You can't get enough Muppet take Go to YouTube, search American Red Devils, like, subscribe, boost the algos, do all that fun stuff. Help us get our YouTube channel off the ground. Also, check out our Patreon page. You want to be a top Muppet? You got to support the podcast. Support the pod on Patreon, patreon.com/American Red Devils. We have over 100 members, the creme de la creme. They enable us to be able to do cool things like YouTube and expand the Muppet Take worldwide, sir. We also got a great store. We got hats, we got beanies, we got scarves. It's wintertime. Grab a scarf, support the greatest team in the world, support the best Manchester United podcast in the world. We also have an amazing website, americanreddevils.com. If you can't get enough audio content, we got written blogs by Alex himself breaking down the new manager coming in. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews. We got a great offer, free ARD merch. All you got to do is what?
All you got to do is send in those 5-star reviews on iTunes or Spotify. And if you do so, take a screenshot of that review, send it to americanreddevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. We appreciate all those 5-star reviews, 5-star Reds. I want to see them. Ipswich away. I'll tell you what, we talked about in the last pod, fans, atmosphere at Old Trafford has been dipping since COVID, dipping since Ole. They didn't love the last manager. I think they're going to love the new guy. And I have a feeling they're going to be in full voice away at Ipswich, at a ground that we haven't been at in a long time as Manchester United fans.
All right, let's break it down. That's right, sir. Ipswich Town, Sunday, November 24th, 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Manchester United heavy favorites against Kieran McKenna's men. He's got them playing pretty good. They got a striker in Delap, 6 goals this season. They're not going to be a pushover, and also it's an away ground, so it's always going to be hostile at Portman Road, sir. I've never been to Portman Road, but it looks like a proper OG English stadium. Just look at look at the bleachers. Look at it. It's just like, take it in.
Scran watch. I bet they have troughs for urinals, and I wonder if they have urine on the floor.
The greatest troughs.
The greatest troughs. Huge troughs. Looks like a fun away ground. Portman Road. It's been their stadium for Ipswich Town since 1884. Unbelievable. Even older than Old Trafford. How's the weather going to be, sir? It's on the coast. I had to look it up. I didn't know where Ipswich was. It's on the coast, near the ocean. Oh, it's going to be 8 degrees, bro. It's winter. That is winter. It is mid-40s, wet. Wet, windy. That sounds like it's going to be English football. This is like Stoke weather.
Feels like 5 degrees, sir.
Feels like 5 degrees. It's going to be cold. Yeah, what do you think it's going to be like when we're in there in January,
I'll
sir?
tell you what, the bluffer is going to be hiding because this is going to be cold, and this is going to play cold and wet. We'll play to the home team. Sir, we got a Scran watch. What do we have here?
Alex's Scran watch. We're on the coast. We're eating seafood. We're eating fish and chips. We're going to Ocean's Fish Platter. This guy's got a shellfish allergy. He ain't going. But Alex is going, and he's eating a double order of fish, double order of mushy peas. Like I said, you're by the ocean. Have some fish. They like them deep fried. In England, every food is khaki other than the peas.
Sir, they got a lobster tank,
Perfect.
Highly rated Ipswich Town. A little history on Ipswich. Founded in 1878, but they didn't turn professional until 1936. Club was elected to the Football League in 1938. They won the league title 61-62. What a year for Ipswich. First season in the top flight. A little Leicester coming on up and winning that. They finished in the top 6 in the first division for 10 years and won the FA Cup in 78, UEFA Cup in 81. They've never lost at home in European competition, having defeated teams such as Real Madrid, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Lazio, and Barcelona. Don't mess with Ipswich. Like we mentioned, they play their home games at Portman Road, and they have a long-standing rivalry with Norwich City, on whom they contest the East England derby. Obviously, they play in the blue. They were in the championship. They were in League One. They got promoted, and they got promoted again. Kieran McKenna at the wheel. That is the man that you backed. So they did do well under his tutelage. So Kieran McKenna doing well.
All these other guys I picked, I never would have thought. So before we get on, the nickname of Ipswich Town is the Blues or the Tractor Boys. Incredible nickname for Ipswich Town. Kieran McKenna got 2 promotions in a row. Like you mentioned, sir, I think I threw his name in the hopper, but I'm glad we went with Ruben. he gets me excited. But I'm sure, Kieran had a tough start to his EPL promotion, but they're kind of finding their feet. Like you said, they have that young striker who's playing really well, and obviously he's had an impact. The 38-year-old English-born Northern Irish manager in Kieran McKenna helped Nottingham Forest gain promotion before being sacked in 2023. Started at Spurs, of course, sir. Joined Manchester United in 2016. Eventually replaced Rue Faria as Mourinho's manager. Sorry, I was reading a little bit of Steve Cooper's old thing. We're talking, obviously, about Kieran McKenna, who retired very young as a player, ended up joining the Spurs Academy after bouncing around a little bit. He joined Manchester United in 2016, and I didn't even realize I forgot he was our assistant manager under Mourinho after Rue Faria left, and then he left in 2021 after Ole was fired, got Ipswich promoted twice, and was a hot commodity. It was a hot commodity in the summer, especially before they got promoted to the EPL, was attached to the United job, which would have been a bridge too far for a young manager.
No, that's kind of where he's not ready. When we said Ruben Amorim, he's ready. Kieran McKenna needs to do something with Ipswich, turn them into a perennial EPL team, and I just don't think he's just ready yet. Also for him, it's like you stay with Ipswich a little bit. I mean, that has that vibe. So like, again, for the record, he did not manage at Nottingham Forest or help them gain promotion to the league.
That was a mistake. Yeah. Miss Guzzi.
No, it's all good.
He is 38. He is younger than our current coach, which is incredible. And he obviously has a connection with Manchester United.
But
was highly rated at Spurs.
People were like Kieran McKenna when he was on the outs at United. People were kind of like not hot on him, right? And then all of a sudden he goes, like, there was a mixed feeling because, like, you have to remember when a manager leaves, there's a lot of mudslinging. For some reason with Erik ten Hag, there hasn't.
Not yet.
The bodies haven't come, like the skeletons haven't come out of the closet.
17 million, bro, buys you a lot of.
No, but like Kieran McKenna is like players
bags.
were like, we didn't like Kieran McKenna's training sessions. I remember being like one of the things that players complain. So he kind of had like not the best. Like when he left, there was a lot of mud going on, and then he does extraordinarily well with Ipswich. So it's great to see the Northern Irishman excelling here. Can you break down his tactics, sir?
So he likes to do a low build-up. He sets his team up in a 1-4-2-3-1 formation with number 10 position slightly to the right. Left winger comes inside, and he likes to rotate in their build-up, creating basically new formations throughout the game that confuse his opponents. This is how he did very well in the championship. Moved up, like I said, 2 leagues in a row. Likes to create central overloads when attacking opposition. So he's a tactician. It's very interesting, like you said, sir. He was highly regarded when he came into United. He's highly regarded even as he worked his way up. But it's funny, every time a manager gets fired and like their assistants, they all get kind of like kicked to the curb a little bit. There's always an element of like they were no good.
Well, because the players have to blame them.
Yeah,
right?
they blame somebody because they can't blame themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So they blame them. But obviously, like you said, he's shown that he's a top manager. Can he keep Ipswich up this year? We'll see. But hey, big challenge. First challenge for Ruben Amorim. He's got to get a win. Who would he sign? It's a bunch of bluffers. Never heard of any of these guys.
No, Delap from Man City's U21, obviously, Irish. They got the connection there. Also, shout out to Jens, who's the American dual national American and Swedish player that they signed, defensive midfielder. But yeah, a lot of nobodies here for Ipswich. Obviously, a lower budget, but Delap has done pretty well. Scored 6 so far. Obviously, coming from the City U21. So, as far as their performances to date, in October, West Ham cooked them 4-1. Everton beat them 2-0. Brentford 4-3. Barn burner. They drew Leicester City. That's kind of more where they should be standing. And they beat Tottenham. Kind of a against the grain result, but a huge result for Ipswich away at Tottenham.
And he was in some trouble. Obviously, no one was taking Erik ten Hag's spot as the number 1 manager most likely to get sacked. But Kieran McKenna was under a lot of trouble. He got that point against Leicester. He got a huge win against Spurs. And they've actually been a team where they've been playing a little bit better than the results. So I think they're going to be frisky. I think they're going to be up for it. Obviously, United, new look under the new manager with the players all looking to impress. I think we steamroll them. But they will be frisky. And I'm sure their ground looks, Old English, sir. Nice and intimidating.
And more importantly, 3 points could get us out of the bottom of the table, which would be a nice trend to continue. I mean, Rude did some damage. We're back to 0 goal differential. It's a big 0 on the board that we need. Ipswich -10. So if you can imagine, the scoring opportunities will be there if we can hit the broad side of the barn.
Which is not a guarantee. I think we're going to start scoring. I think we're going to find an ability to just, our conversion's going to go up. Hopefully we start outscoring XG, which was not something we've seen in a long time. Obviously creating a lot of XG is good too, but yeah, I think it's going to be like everything was like a challenge before. We were like, hiking through mud or hiking through the wet sand. Now I think things are going to be smooth and just start rolling in a way that they weren't and haven't been for a long time at Manchester United.
All right, Lifetime versus Ipswich Town. We have 129, drawn 9, and lost 19. And Ipswich coming in, they're playing the 4-2-3-1, but obviously it changes. You got Delap up front. Twanzebe playing right back. Shout out, former United player. He's also your one to watch. I'm more excited about watching United. Is Ruben going to go with the 3-4-3? How is he going to set up? I think this is a vibes match. Like, the players got to get up for the new man. So I'm not as worried about Ipswich or Kieran McKenna's setup.
No, you're absolutely right. It's one of those games where I'm not even going to watch the other players that much at all. Very interested to see who he picks, who he doesn't pick, what formation we go with. Is he hit with a 3-4-3 right away? I hope he does. Let's just do it. And how they respond. I think that's what I'm most excited about, is like who's getting ready to run through a wall for him and who needs to be convinced and maybe lose their starting spot. So a lot to look forward to. Twanzebe as well. Shout out to him in Paris and his performance there. I just think there was like a different player. He got hurt by injuries. We've confirmed he's a fan of the pod.
He's a good player. I mean, he
good
is
guy too. Really good guy. Always rooted for Twanzebe.
It's like what should have been. I mean, like the fact that he got promoted with Villa and never took hold. I mean, he played very well in that game, and then we brought him back to United. He got lost in the loan fold. That I say, it's like we have to be more intentional when we bring players back from loan and then involve them in the team. So hopefully Ruben is up for the task. But I feel bad that we saw some moments of brilliance from Twanzebe. The fire never really took.
No, it didn't. But you know what? He's 27. If he could stay fit, maybe he can have a nice little career. If he helps Ipswich stay up, you can have a nice little tenure there and turn things around. So we're all rooting for you, sir. Ref watch. It's too early, but there's been a lot of ref talk. David Coote.
Yeah, we have to talk about this.
The whole story, other than the appointment of Ruben Amorim in English football, has been David Coote.
So let's hear from, and you know who David Coote is because we break down the refs on the pod. But let's hear from the man.
Okay, Liverpool game earlier when you were fourth official.
Liverpool was shit.
What do you think of Jurgen Klopp?
Couldn't. Absolutely.
I mean, well, I'm not going to disagree with that assessment of Jurgen Klopp, but he is gone out of the league. This man is clearly like inebriated, not having a good time, being filmed, talking smack. It's also like, what is this guy doing? Like filming him and asking these like polarizing questions. It's just not a good vibe. Feel bad for look, I feel bad for this guy just generally. Like there should be a road back for him, like substance abuse. Like if it's addiction, clearly, like, I don't know. You got to say, hey man, let him like go away in the lower leagues for a while, clean it up. There has to be a path back. You can't just make one mistake and like delete this referee. But broader, the EPL has or the PMOGL, the PGMOL. They have like a whatever the fuck. Fast. The refereeing situation in England is bad.
It is.
And if you look at Michael Oliver and the fact that he was getting paid by the
Emiratis,
and then coming,
it's rotten.
By the way, if you think it's rotten, it's rotten. And if you look at the calls that teams are getting, and it's like, you know what? Here's also the thing: if Jurgen Klopp yells at these guys, and the next time they call something against them, that's also human nature. So there's an element of that where like, I'm sure refs don't like certain coaches, and I'm sure that plays into it. Fergie on the touchline with his watch, yelling at people. Like Fergie used to bully the refs.
Oh yeah.
It's humans out there, right? And at the end of the day, like it's gotten bad. Like the class of refs have gotten bad in England, and they need to do something about that. And they need to get rid of this whole conflict of interest or issues with other clubs, or address it in some way. Because I really like. There was a video of a VAR guy. They went to the VAR studio, and he had his fantasy EPL up. Like on his phone,
dude, I know.
While he's doing VAR,
no,
and it's
bad.
like it's like I'm sure they're gambling too. It's got like it seems a little like not a great situation is what I'm trying to say. This whole like refereeing, and I feel like it was been bubbling, and it's kind of popped off because Michael Oliver doesn't like Manchester United. He calls things for City, like, and it's real, and their biases are real, and they're there, and they need to figure out a way to like, you know, get around this, because I just feel like you can't trust these refs.
Yeah, and I feel bad for David Coote. I have to say it, like, because they're fucking killing him. And you know what he did?
England loves
this was
that
not
shit,
even.
though.
They love killing people, bro. They love tearing them to shreds and then just hitting them again, the pieces on the ground. So you feel bad for the individual, but yeah, but the officiating league in England is rotten to the core, and it's not David Coote's fault. But David Coote, they love just killing the individual in England. Finding a video where you do something bad and they just fucking attack and attack and attack. So I feel bad for the guy. I think they hope they freshen up the league in terms of like, hey, there should be one designated VAR, and refs should not be allowed to go like
No, it should be a
take
central
money from like sovereign countries that also own teams. It's just like, it's not that hard. It feels like it's corrupt. Like you said, if it feels that way, it probably is. It kind
No,
of
it's
feels
the
like the 90s
individual.
refs in Italy and in Serie A, bro. It's like they feel like, you can tell they're like, it ain't good. It ain't good.
No, but it's too individualistic and like the ego. So like
The
Michael
names.
Oliver's like on the pitch one day, then he's in the VAR booth the other day, right? And that penalty that got called against United was him, and it's like
the audio was damning. It made no sense that they called that a penalty.
no, but and it's like VAR should be like the NFL does it. It's like a central hub in New York City, and they watch all the games and they make all the calls, and it's just like the same guys doing it the whole time, and that way it's consistent. The referees should be the referees on the field, and then there should be a centralized video thing, and those guys, and like it's Howard Webb running it, and it's like they're trying to make the same decision. Like it's going to go that way, but the whole like the referees ref on Monday, and then he's VAR on Sunday, and then it's rotating and it's inconsistent. It's like that's what you're going to get with that system, and so they got to break that up. And I also feel like every other ref has said shit like this.
Yeah, this I don't care about. Like, first of all, the manager left. Klopp is not the manager. He is a fucking, you know what? He's not a nice guy. He's a super successful coach. Unbelievable talent.
Not a nice guy.
But he's not a nice guy.
Never met him. Not a nice guy.
He has a reputation of screaming at people.
Not- like-
I guarantee I'll die on the vine all fucking day.
Yeah,
all night.
Ruben Amorim. He screams.
You
at
think
people,
Jurgen
too.
Klopp is a nice guy? Jurgen Klopp is not a nice guy, dude.
I know, but I've never. I'm
Come
not
on.
a fan of him, but I also like
He's a great manager.
just saying he yells at people. Like every coach yells at people.
those teeth,
Like,
those giant teeth. He yells at people more than most.
You don't like his teeth? Okay, I get it.
No. I just don't. I think he's a bit of a bully, bro. But you know what? So was Fergie. Fergie was a bully too.
He was.
He was a very effective bully. He
Yes.
was a very
Some
effective
people
bully.
might say Fergie was not a nice guy too. You know, obviously not.
I
us.
think to be an elite manager, you probably aren't. It's hard to be a nice guy and be a killer and make everybody like. You have to be such a perfectionist. Fergie was a perfectionist. Pep is a perfectionist. If Amorim's a perfectionist, that's a good sign, because that's what it takes. In order to be elite in your field, you have to be like devoted to it, obsessed with it. And you know what? That's what we need. We need someone who's just like obsessed with their craft and is going to do everything it takes to get Manchester United back to the promised land. Because this club has what it takes. We just need time, some money, and patience, because all the pieces are there.
All right, before we get into the bookies odds, let's look at how Manchester United last lined up pre-international break under Ruud van Nistelrooy. We had Onana in net, Dalot, Delit, Martinez, Mazraoui back four, Casemiro, Ugarte, Bruno midfield, Rashford on the left, Diallo on the right, and Højlund at number 9. This is with the 4-2-3-1 and a different manager. How do you think Aaron is going to change it going forward? No material injuries at international break, so assume everyone's available. But how would you change it? Is he going 3-4-3? What do you think?
I do think he's going to go 3-4-3. I just don't know which players are going to fit in each position at this moment, because apparently he likes to play one wingback, more aggressively and one more defensively. So that might come into you play a traditional fullback versus a traditional winger, but let's not get into that right now. So I think one change is going to be that Rashford's going to drop out, and I think Lenny Euro is going to go in. He'll get a start. They'll do the back three and just go for it for the first game. And that's my only change. So like for like, Ahmad, Bruno, Højlund up front. There you go.
Yeah, I think you're going to get I think he's going to stick with the 4-2-3-1.
You think?
I think it's just going to be one of those things where he doesn't have time, so he's just going to kind of go with this 11, just try to get the intensity up, and he's going to bring in Garnacho for Rashford. I think Rashford gets dropped. And let's check out the bookies odds. What do we got for the betting odds here?
So United is the heavy favorites, as you'd imagine. Plus 390 for Ipswich at home, plus 320 for the draw, and minus 155 for Manchester United on the road, sir. You're up. You're up first. We both got it right last time. We didn't get the score, but we got the result. What do you got?
So score prediction, current state of the prediction game, I got 46 points to Alex's 12.
Is that more or less?
I think it's more,
Okay, I think you're right.
I also happen to have the red bar, so I'm thrilled about that as a United fan. As far as this game coming in, not going to be easy. You got a lot of bluffers in this team. It's international break. Ruben, you're going to see the same kind of Ruben destroy. I'm going 2-1. I think we'll get the win. We're going to concede. I'm going to go win. I'm going to go 2-1.
Ruben's Red Army. Ruben 3-0. United. Muppets are back, baby. Let's go. Put the Muppets are in charge of the insane asylum. I am ready. Alex is gonna go for a fucking run. Let's go. I just feel it. He's gonna get hot. Hot-handed dice game. I'm ready to go.
All right. Very
I'm
excited.
ready to turn things around.
Steak dinner on the line, and then obviously we had Rashford out in New York City at the Knicks game, which would kind of like hot debate online. You know, I probably need to talk about it real quick before we close the pod. Look, Marcus Rashford going out to New York City, he has a week off. He can do whatever he wants. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? No one. When people care is when you're going out last year and you're not playing well, and then you're going out now and then you're not, and you're not playing well. It's just like, does resting at home. I also just like the optics. Like, if you were his manager, you'd be like, hey man, you gotta just keep it simple because of the Is there anything wrong with him doing it? No. But if you're not playing well and you're wearing like big fluffy Louis Vuitton sweaters hanging out in New York City, does it make you look like you're going to turn that around? I don't know. It's just more the image, and people are going to take that online and spin it in a negative way. Now, he could do what he wants, but I just do think that professional footballers should make, like, if I'm thinking about that, like, probably he should be thinking about that. And the fact he's not could suggest, like, it doesn't seem like he's coming back. I don't think this is the reason, but if what you're doing after last season is something like you're looking for the spotlight in New York City while you're not playing well, I just kind of feel like we've seen that before.
Yeah, I don't think this is a big deal at all. I think this is like a classic, like, English press just seeing who they can spit up and chew out next. Yeah, like the outfit, would I wear that? No, a little bit too much bling for my liking, but he's on international break. He wasn't picked by England. Like, who gives a shit? He's in New York. That's a great place. Greatest city in the world. Good for him. Knicks, can't speak about them. MSG's fun to go to, especially courtside. Beyond that, who cares about that? Like, I don't think he's going to make it under the new manager just for a variety of reasons. I think if he was a little younger, he might, but now like 26, 27, I think it's going to be hard to get behind this. I hope he does. He's a hell of a player. I just don't think he will. But, like, this is, I don't know. This is just, the outfit was not, I wouldn't have picked the outfit.
But he was going, like,
it's not Belfast. Like, if he was in Belfast during the season when he should be training, that's one thing.
But you know what I mean. It's like he got in trouble because he was doing these trips last year. Like, and like when you're doing these trips that, like, he's going to Belfast and then, like, coming back late because he's HO'd or going out with his boys, and, like, you would think that would be like, oh, I can't do that anymore. And then you'd kind of run, like, at least optically turn over a new leaf. And I feel like it's no.
Would I advocate like a young player who I had a relationship with, of Rashford's? If I was the one in Rashford's ear, I'd be like, let's stick it low, go to Mallorca,
like, hey,
do fucking reps,
work out in the sun,
go to Spain and keep it low profile,
exactly.
Bring some Dolly to like southern Greece, keep it low, bro. But if he comes and like be a baller in New York and then goes out and just like kicks ass against Ipswich, I don't care, bro. I like, as long as you ball on the pitch and work your ass off.
By the way, we all want Rashford to do well.
Of course we do. I'm concerned.
No,
I have concerns.
Okay, what I would tell Rashford is, when you're balling out on the pitch, ball out off the pitch. When you're not, keep it like looking like you're focused on getting back.
I think what it really is
fairly or
he's
unfairly.
Single. That's a single man move.
That's a single.
I think if he was dating a chick, he would be going to southern Spain or Greece. It's like he is single, ready to mingle. You go to New York. I mean, he does go to the best city in the world for that.
Dude, we want Marcus to do well, and he's not. not doing well. And as a fan of him, that I thought he would break Wayne Rooney's record. I thought he would be like the talisman to bring us back to the promised land over the long term. And, to see him kind of struggle mentally or off the pitch and not being his best self is tough. But obviously I'm not like a footballer being paid millions and millions of pounds. So like, I can't really relate to the issues that you would go through. But, I want the best out of Marcus. There's too many games. The spotlight's too big. All those things are true. But, I doubt the Knicks game will matter in the long run. I'm just worried about the optics and that feeding into the, because I noticed he like lashes out on socials a lot.
I think
he reacts
follows
to
it too
right?
much. He
Yeah,
definitely, he's definitely
And
too
like,
online, as they say, too online.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he gets a fresh start. I want him to get a fresh start. Everybody gets a fresh start. It's his season to turn around. I hope he does. He has the skills. He is a fucking talented player. I know he's a good kid.
If he wants to be a part of this,
Dude, he could
can,
be
he
it.
will.
He could be one of the best players in the league if he wanted to be. And you know what? This manager has a great ability to take talent that's kind of suffering and hurting and make something out of it. So if he's ready to step up, Ruben will help show him the way. It's just that he's got to be willing to take the steps. So he's got it. He's got everything he needs to be a world-class footballer. It's just like you got to put the pieces together.
Come on, Marcus. You heard it here. That's it. That's the podcast. You like the American Red Devils. Please check out our store, americanreddevils.store. Pick up some merch. Support the pod. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/American Red Devils. And on YouTube, search American Red Devils. Like, subscribe if you're watching. Comment below. Only 50% of people who view our videos actually subscribe. So hit the subscribe button. Help us with the algorithm. Sir, give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? Los Angeles, California, Brooklyn, New York, Melbourne, Australia, New York. What up, Rashford? Chicago, Illinois, Dublin, Ireland, Charlotte, North Carolina, Houston, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, and Philadelphia, PA. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do it without you. Big match ahead Sunday. Ipswich, Ruben's Red Army. Let's fucking go. Cannot wait. Season starts now.
Take me home, United Road.